welcome to Create with Louise YouTube channel, and today I'm using the Backyard Bliss paper range that is in the current July to September Close to My Heart catalogue. I'm selecting Picture My Life cards, going through and see what I think might be nice with the papers that are below. I wanted a title and maybe a journaling spot. I may not use all of these, but if I pop them down and then once I get my photos, I can have a look. You'll see there are wood grain die cuts, so they are really easy to pull apart, and they've got a lovely wood grain finish to them without the bulk of wood. Now these papers would go so nicely with florals and gardens and the backyard, but I'm using mine for photos of the transformation of our garage from a mess and tools and dust and dirt to my workshop room for my classes. And my garage is in my backyard. So I've chosen this as my background. I did think that I was going to start out with the wood grain. Here's the pattern I'll be following from the Make It From Your Heart Volume 5. I love these books, really a go-to for me for patterns. So I decide that I'm going to swap the pages around and have my title on the right hand side. Nobody says we have to have our title on the left, so it suited my photos better. So I wanted the transition to go from the left to the right, you know, from the start to finish. So I've picked out a title which says Friendship Refreshes the Soul, which I think is so apt for what I am doing in my classes. You know, we get together, we create, I teach, and friendships are made, and it's really important for me. So I decide it needs trimming down. And the cardstock that I've used there is papaya, and I've got pine, which is one of the new ones, and rosemary and mink. So nothing's stuck down just yet. Still trying to put everything where I think I might want it. Going to pull out some die cuts and put those down. I would normally do this, put it all where I think it might go, and sometimes walking away from your layout and coming back, then you get refreshed as well as where you might like things to go. They're so easy to pull out. I'm really loving the Close to My Heart die cuts that they've been producing of late. There's a lot of fine details in some of them. There's a little tab. So it's got lots of things on there. There's a picket fence as well, a couple of large titles, but they didn't suit my layout. Flowers and leaves, there's some buttons, couple of banners. You know, you can stamp on these as well. And I do go off camera so that the video's not too long, I go off and do some trimming, and I end up dovetailing most of it, and still trying to decide where to put that title. The beauty of just dry fitting it first. So I wanted to give the process video a bit of a go to show people how I put my layouts together, and it's a great way to showcase the papers used alongside photos. All the products that I'll be using in this video will be down in the description below, and I'll have links to my website. Now, if you haven't done so before, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed, if you press like. That helps YouTube give you more YouTube videos of what you like to watch. So here I am dovetailing, which I just eyeball. I don't measure when I'm doing my dovetails. Now I'm using my Versamat. I really like the Versamat because I can line it up, and I have discovered T-rulers. And this is so good for getting everything lined up where you want it to be. Close to My Heart has released one which is coming out on August 1st. It is not in stock yet. It hasn't arrived in the warehouse, but be on the lookout for it. I had bought one before I knew we were getting one, and I'd seen other YouTubers using T-ruler, and it just getting everything lined up where I wanted it was fantastic. Gone are the days of me putting things down, looking at it going, that's not straight, and having to pull it all up again. So I'm able to get the widths in between even, and it's straight along the top edge. So here, when I add my photos, my tip, when I've got 3 in a row like that, is that I would add the middle photo first, center that, and then it's easier to get the distance even on either side of that middle photo. So I just speeded it up in a little portion there, just to keep the video at a decent length. And I'm still deciding what to do with that title. Here we go. Trim it down, but I leave a little bit of that sage border around the edge. Looking back at it later, I probably should have also inked around the edge of that, just to help it pop off the page a little more. But this is all a learning experience for me. Now it's time to go around and add these die cuts. So I've used the flowers, medium size one and a smaller one. And I haven't used 3, but I have grouped them around. So here I'm adding my title, and I've cut it out on the Cricut, and I've used adhesive sheet on the back of it while I was cutting it out to make it easier to stick down. There were a lot of fine pieces in this title, and the font is Annie Lou, if you're interested in knowing that. These adhesive sheets are a real game changer for the finer titles and sentiments that we use. If I'd thought about it, I wouldn't have glued everything down quite so early, because after I looked at it, I thought I could have done some sponging on the base page. So I've added some journaling strips there, you'll see. And this is the card making kit from Backyard Bliss, and I've stamped on that piece at that die cut, and I'm going to use a flip flap because I found another photo that I wanted to add. So thank you for joining me today. Really appreciate your time in stopping by.